Today on this quick video, we're going to give you your Richmond housing market update for the month of February 2020 in under 10 minutes. And now to the video.
Welcome to the Chris Elliott Real Estate Show, where we bring you insights into the local Central Virginia real estate market, go in depth to answer your real estate questions and concerns, and interview local figures and influencers in the greater Richmond area. And now let's get to the latest episode with your host, Chris Elliott, and co-host, Maddie Ray.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whenever you're seeing this. This is your Richmond housing market update for the month of February 2020. Hope you guys have been well. My goal today is to get through this in 10 minutes, keep it nice, short, and sweet. So as we do always, we're going to start with the national news. So as we've talked about in previous podcasts, less and less of the smart people, the economists out there are projecting that the upcoming recession is going to happen in the year of 2020. Now only 14% of the major economists believe that will happen this year, and that timeline is continuing to getting pushed out, as you see in the graphic above my shoulder. The good news is showings, the amount of buyers out there looking at homes is up nationally. So Showing Time is a showing service, a showing booking service that has national reach. So they've got all this data to be able to look at. And we're seeing more and more buyers out there. And we definitely saw that in the month of January or felt it. And now the numbers are confirming it, that more and more showings were happening, and more so than we saw in previous January months. So that's that. Housing inventory has fallen to historic low levels on a national scale. Two statistics that I thought were very, very interesting. At the time that this information was gathered, we had 1.4 million homes on the market for sale across the United States. That is the lowest level of inventory that we've seen on a national level since the year of 1993. Which I thought was pretty interesting. And then we are currently at 3 months supply of inventory. Once again, month supply of inventory at the rate at which homes are selling. How long would it take out to sell current inventory? Anything below 6 months is considered a seller's market. We are now at a national level of 3 months supply of inventory, which has never been seen before in recording history. So all across the board, we're seeing a shortage of inventory. New construction is doing well, as you'll see in the graphic. Starting to pick up. We're starting to head in the right direction. That's starting to gain some momentum, but we are still way far behind of where we need to be to catch up with current demand and kind of hit an equilibrium. And then last but not least, the good news that I can give you today is that mortgage rates are projected to stay under 4% over the next 2 years. So very good news if you're selling, because that means home prices can continue to appreciate, because buyers can, the financing costs are cheaper. So the affordability index is staying at a nice, comfortable level. And also good news for buyers that they're able to go out and purchase these homes, lock in very good 30-year rates. Which if you talk to anybody with a little bit of gray hair, they will tell you that a 4% is a phenomenal mortgage interest rate. All right, so now to your local news. So as we do always, we're looking back a month at the numbers for the month of January that we now have. New listings almost doubled from the month of December 2019 to January of 2020. So we went from about 600 new homes that hit the market in December to almost 1,200, just a little bit shy of it. So that's very good news to combat these low inventory levels. Unfortunately, it's still not enough to meet demand. We did see a 30% jump in pending contracts from January of 2019 to January of 2020. So there were 30% more homes that went under contract, which we definitely felt that. And now it's nice to have these numbers that confirm that. List price to sell price ratio dropped a little bit, but we're still at 97.4% of list price to sales price, which is very good. End of month inventory is down 18% from January of last year. So more contracts are written, less homes that were left on the market at the end of the month compared to January of last year. And then month supply of inventory, which we talked about earlier, is down 20% from last year. And we are currently at 1.6 months supply of inventory. So on a national level, we're at 3 months supply of inventory. Central Virginia is at 1.6. So we're very, very much in a seller's market. So what does this actually mean for you? For sellers, the market is absolutely hot now, and we would not recommend waiting into the spring unless you absolutely have to. So I'm gearing this comment towards folks that are maybe ready to go on the market, or they're just kind of trying to time things, and they say, hey, we're going to wait until the spring because that's when all the magic happens. The reality is we're in a very good market right now if you look at the numbers. And if you wait till the spring, more than likely all you're doing is you're waiting for more competition to hit the market as well. So if you can hit now, you're one of maybe 1, 2, 3 homes that buyer has to choose from that meet their criteria. Whereas if you wait to the spring, it's still going to be low inventory, but maybe now you're one of 4, 5, and 6 homes. So your likelihood of getting more of what you want now is most likely greater. If you haven't already, let's set up a time to talk. If you're looking at making a move in 2020, now would be the good time for us to get together. Let's put together a game plan. Let's review your goals, and let's set you up for success so that it's much easier to do that than if we get the phone call like a week or two before somebody's ready to list. So that's that. I would also encourage you not to get sloppy in a hot market. So what we see sometimes when we have these hot markets is folks just say, hey, I can throw it up there on the market. Don't worry about photos. Don't worry about staging the property. Don't worry about doing repairs and improvements, any of that stuff, because it will sell anyway. And the reality is, more than likely, yes, it will sell. But the question I have for you is, are we truly taking advantage of the market that we're in? Are we truly netting as much out of the home as we possibly can, given the opportunity that we have in front of us? So, don't get away from best practices just because we're in a hot market right now. Also, too, along that vein, is be careful to not overprice. So you can be aggressive with pricing in this market, but I would encourage you not to wildly overprice the home. And we see that sometimes because people are seeing the news. They see videos like this where we say, hey, inventory's low. It's a very hot market. And what they do is they crazy overprice the home. It ends up sitting, and then it ends up ultimately selling for less than it potentially could have, for 2 reasons. Number one, when a home sits on the market and you got days on market attached to your listing, buyers and agents are going to wonder what's wrong with the property. So they already come into it with a negative mindset. The other thing is too, when a home's been sitting on the market, buyers and savvy agents like myself will know that, hey, we can probably be more aggressive on our negotiations. Reason being, more than likely, we're the only interested party at any given time. If the home's been on the market 30 months and we're making an offer, my educated guess is that we're going to be the only buyer talking with you, versus if a hot property hits the market, that first weekend, that second weekend, you can't really negotiate as much because you're probably going to be competing against another buyer. So once again, don't get sloppy with the hot market. Buyers, what does this mean for you? Man, I feel for you. It's going to be tough this year getting a home under contract. Get pre-qualified early. Don't wait until you found your dream home. We say this every month, but it's worth repeating. If you're looking to make a purchase in 2020, absolutely get with a good mortgage broker. We're happy to connect you with one. You need to get pre-approved early in the process. Know what you want before you go shopping. Sit down, make that list of must-haves and want-haves. Want-to-haves, because you're going to need to be able to act quickly, and crystallizing and knowing exactly what you want, what you're willing to accept, what you're not willing to accept, is going to help you in that decision-making process versus getting caught flat-footed and losing a property to a buyer that maybe has lost one already and is kind of ready to go. So that's that. Also, too, with inventory being low, we're going to find ourselves in competitive situations. You need to know how to get flexible with terms and really how to cater an offer to a buyer. One of the things that you may want to discuss with your agent, we're haven't got there yet with clients, but we're prepared to, is doing escalation clauses. So essentially what that means is you make an initial offer, but you also tell that seller, hey, I'm going to offer you $300, for example, but I'm willing to go up to $315. If you can show me where you have another offer that has made you $315, I'll beat them out by $500 or $1,000. So feel free to DM me or email me back, and we could talk more about escalation clauses. So anyway, gave that to you rapid fire. That is your Richmond housing market update in 10 minutes or less. Thank you guys for tuning in. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, concerns. We look forward to seeing you on the next video.
Thanks for joining us for the Chris Elliott Real Estate Show. If you have any questions or suggestions for future episodes, please contact Chris Elliott at chris@chriselliottrealestate.com or by phone at 804-980-1898. And please join us again next time for the Chris Elliott Real Estate Show.